What's going on, folks? I'm going to take this time to make this video to show you all something that could be going on with your vehicle that can be very, very important for you to get fixed as soon as possible. This happens to be a Chevy Avalanche right here, and a few days ago I was driving and a kid happened to run out in front of me where I had to hit my brakes really hard. And once I hit my brakes, the vehicle basically just kept on going. What had happened is that my brake line had busted. I hit the brakes, I felt the brakes go all the way to the floor, and the vehicle pretty much kept going. Luckily, I was able to actually swerve around to keep from hitting this kid that ran right out in front of me, going about maybe 35 miles an hour, which I would have hated would have seen what could have happened if I'd have hit that kid. But what I realized is that when I looked up underneath my vehicle looking for what it went wrong, I realized that the brake line was busted. And when I looked at all the rest of my brake lines, just about all of them was completely rusted through. And I didn't have time to actually fix it myself, so I had to take it to get it corrected. And of course, I had to change out basically every single one of my brake lines. If you can see right here, these pipes you see right here are actually new brake lines now. And they left the old ones in. See if you can see, which right here is one of those brake lines. And you can see how they're all rusted out like that. And I've noticed that this seems to be a problem that goes for Chevy Avalanches, Chevy Tahoes, GMCs, Yukons, as well as stuff like your Chevy Impala vehicles and all that, is that your brake lines rust out. And if you ever was in an emergency situation where you had to hit your brakes hard like I did, it may actually bust like mine did, which could cost you your life or somebody else their life. You can look down and you can see where they had to run all new brake lines going all the way back. Those you see right there are new brake lines. I'm gonna actually show you up underneath the vehicle, because when they ran my new brake lines, they didn't take out the old ones. They just kind of ran new ones beside it, so you'll actually be able to see my old brake lines and how those old brake lines look. Now, you can do this yourself. All you have to do is just buy the brake lines for your vehicle and run it. If you're going to run all brake lines, it may take you, 4 or 5 hours to get it done, but it's well worth the money and to save a potential, catastrophic situation from happening to where either you hurt yourself or hurt somebody else. But I'm going to show you up underneath this vehicle. So this happens to be a Chevy Avalanche. And I'm going to show you exactly where mine's busted at on this vehicle. If you can see right up here. Hold on. See, that's the new brake line right there. You can see that nice shiny one. All these right here are my old brake lines, and basically it busted right over here in this little cluster right here. You see those lines? Those are my old brake lines. Every single one of those brake lines was rusted out, and when I had to stop, one of them right here busted. I'm not sure exactly which one it was because they're so close together, but it completely busted and basically put my brakes to the floor. I had no brakes whatsoever because that brake line busted. If you can see all these new lines, that's where they actually had to run new lines, and they ran it all the way to my ABS, which is pretty much on the other side. Let's see if I can get to where you can see where they had to run it to. Yeah, right here. See, all those nice lines you see, that's now going to my ABS. And all those lines pretty much come over here, over top of this, the frame, and come out right there. And those brake lines were all rusted out. You can see they're still there. They just ran new lines over them. So what I advise you to do is do an inspection on your brake lines, because you may have had somebody already go through and change them out, especially if you have an older vehicle. I say anything like 10 years older or more, somebody may have already been through this and changed them out. But I would definitely want to take a look at my brake lines just to be sure they're not rusted out like this, because if they are, in an emergency situation, you may hit your brakes and may not have any brakes. Well, that's exactly what I went through. I hit those brakes, it went all the way to the floor, and then when I finally was able to get the vehicle to stop by pressing as hard as I could, slowly stopping it, I got out and I could see the brake fluid all leaking out from underneath the vehicle right here. So once again, this is the problem I believe that's on a lot of GM vehicles, especially if you got the older ones, the Tahoes, Yukons, GMs, your Chevy Tahoes, your Chevy Avalanches. So right now what I'm looking at, I'm right up underneath basically the driver's side door, right up underneath where you can see this part at. So you can see kind of where I'm at. Like, see, this is the driver's side door. Just come straight down and look underneath here. If you have an Avalanche or possibly a Tahoe will be the same, and you should be able to see these lines right here, which would be your brake lines. If your lines look like that, really rusted out like that, that tells you that those lines are not safe. In an emergency situation, you hit that brake too hard, they may bust. Alright folks, once again, this is something you may want to check on your vehicle for safety purposes to make sure that your brake lines aren't rusted out. It wound up costing me close to $600-700 to get this fixed. I did get, like I said before, I could have done it myself. I was just in a super rush and I didn't really have time to go through and do it myself. So I wound up getting it fixed at the shop. But alright folks, please check out our other helpful videos and please subscribe. Thanks.